I'm losing my fiancé because I did something against her wish. I, a 32-year-old man, proposed to my fiancé, a 39-year-old woman, 2 months ago, and she said yes. I love her with all my heart. She's very sweet, intelligent, and drop-dead gorgeous. The only problem we faced was that I hadn't met her family because she hadn't had any contact with them for 20 years. For my family, that was a red flag. My mum suggested that since we were engaged, they were my family too, so we contacted them. Her mum was so sweet and started crying the moment I introduced myself. Her father was also very kind. They talked to me about her childhood, how wonderful and kind she had always been, and it made a lot of sense why she turned out to be the person she is today. I thanked them for raising such a beautiful human being. I kept in touch with them and soon met all her siblings. She has 3. Then I introduced them to my family, and I was happy they got along. Mum suggested the next step was to invite my future in-laws to my parents' house and take my fiancé there so she could finally work on the dispute she had with them. She never told me about this, and when we asked her parents, they didn't know either. When she got there, she screamed, "What are they doing here?" and ran out. I had never heard her raise her voice like that before. I ran after her, but she just drove off. I went back and apologized. Her mum was crying her eyes out, and so were her sisters. Her dad and brother looked heartbroken. When I went home, she was crying and packing. She told me she needed to move out and would stay with her friends. I started crying too and asked her to tell me what happened. When she was 18, her brother, who was 19 at the time, raped her best friend's little sister, who was then 17. He apparently had feelings for this girl for years, but she was never interested. One New Year's party, he waited until she was very drunk and raped her. He later boasted about how he finally had her and now could move on. He got away with it, even though everybody knew he did, because there was no evidence. My fiancé tried everything to help convict him, because she was the one who overheard him boasting to his friends and discussing what he did to that girl. Her family did everything to protect him. A year later, the girl committed suicide. That broke my fiancé, who still suffers from severe depression. She said the indifference in her family's reaction when they found out about the girl's fate still makes her blood freeze in her veins. She knew she could never forgive them. The way she spoke, it was like this happened yesterday. I felt sick and wished I didn't have to ask. I had seen her brother and how proud her parents were of their only boy, who is successful and a father of 2. I apologized and begged her to stay. I told her that had she told me all this before, I would never have brought them back into her life. She said I should have trusted her judgment since I always boasted about how kind and just she was. She called me later and told me she couldn't do this anymore. Today, she left the ring while I was at work and took the last of her stuff. I feel like my world has turned upside down. Tell me what I should do to make her forgive me. She's so angry with me and my family, and I totally understand her. Mum says my fiancé is being overdramatic now, and that all this happened so long ago, and we should all move on since her family still loved and wanted her back. I don't know what to do. Update. Good morning. What a rough night I had after trying to read all your comments, DM, and messages. I was filled with nightmares. I called my fiancé before breakfast. I told her that I love her more than she even knows, and that I know she loves me. That I never in a million years thought people who loved each other this much would break up. I apologized and promised to make it up to her for the rest of my life if she gave me a second chance. I told her we can move away from our families, and I promised her it would be the 2 of us from now on. Nobody will have a say in how we live our lives but us. She was crying the whole time, and I must admit I'm not a crier myself, but I haven't stopped crying since yesterday. I hope she gives me a new chance to make it up to her. Cheers.